Hi, this is Julianne Price, and welcome to this tutorial on the Books to Read This Year planner, or Books Read This Year. Originally it was called Books to Read This Year, and we have changed it to Books Read This Year. And here is where you can write your date that you're reading your book, so that's what this section is for. And this tutorial will take you through how to use your books to read this year. So let's start off with your quick notes page. This is where you can write any kind of quick notes. Maybe somebody passes along a good book, or you see you're reading an article and they mention a book. You can drop it in here if you're not sure when you're going to be reading it. You could just drop it in here as kind of a waiting area so you don't lose track of it. On this page, you can always email me with any questions about the planner. You can visit the Etsy shop. You can go to the website, and you can also see the blog portion of the website, which is a lot of how-tos and different things about the planners themselves or how to use GoodNotes. So that's what you'll find here on this quick notes page. And then just some introductory matter. This notebook is formatted for the Hub notebook system. If you don't know what that is, you can get a free 2-subject Hub notebook. You can watch the video here which talks about it. And basically what it does is it allows you to layer in different notebooks inside of each other. So you could get a Hub notebook, and then you could put 2021 in there, and then you could put 2022 in there, and it has its own tabbing system. So again, watch the video, and it's one way to put together all your different book logs. So if you want to have all different things related to books in one notebook, you can do that with the Hub notebook system. Here's the tutorial, which we are recording right now. And then if you click on the tutorial, that will bring you to this page. If you click on the notes page, you get to the different styles of note paper that we have here. So this is just a blank note paper. You can do whatever you want with it. This is one we were going to go into a little bit more depth in just a minute, but this is kind of a very particular to a book log or a book kind of review for you. So you can put that right here, and we'll go into that in more depth soon. Then there's just a lined page. You have a 2-column page. I'm not sure if you can see this clearly on the video. You have a checklist page, and then here is a dot grid page. So if you want to be drawing your own shapes, you can use the dot grid to draw your own shapes. So you'll find all those in the notes. Then in the authors tab right here, you'll find your favorite authors page. So here you can write the name of your author, but you can also write the series. So maybe there's a particular series that you really like by them, and when you go searching, you tend to remember the series and not the author. So this is a way to put the two together, or maybe a particular note about them or particular characters. So here's a chance to just kind of jot down your favorite author. So when you're going to search, you're going to the bookstore, the library, whatever, here's a chance for you just to jot down your favorite authors and see what you've got. So you'll find that right here in the authors tab. So now you have your seasonal tabs. So it starts off with winter. So each tab will bring you to a cover page for that season. And then behind that, you have your log for that season. So here's all the books that you have read. You're going to log them as you read them. You can rate them. You can indicate if they're fiction or nonfiction, and then you can write the date. Now, if any time you don't want one of these headers here and you want to put your own header in, like maybe where you found the book, so maybe it's a recommendation you want to put here, or you want to put just some other, you want to track something else, number of pages, something like that. You can always watch the video. Again, go back to the quick notes page, and there's a link to my blog, and there's videos about how to cover up these, and if you put your own in if you'd like to. But it's as simple as adding a shape. So you'd go to the shape tool and you'd add a shape, and you could just put a square type shape here or something, and then make it white. So we're going to do that, but you can, again, there's an in-depth tutorial that you can find right on the blog to how to cover these up if you want to change them. So you're going to write down your titles, and then you can, if you want to do totals, so you can do total fiction, nonfiction, or total number of pages you've read. So again, you can kind of customize this to whatever you want. Just as long as you know what you're doing, you're good. So then behind this is where, so you see it goes to spring, but behind this is where you want to put any pages. And we're going to jump over to my former version because this is where I really started marking things up. So this is my old version. So if we go back to this version, if I was going to be using this template that I created, I really like this template here. This is what it would look like. So what I love to do is when I'm reading a book, I'll go get the cover of the book from a website, go on the internet, and then you can do a screenshot, and then it'll show up here in your camera roll. So in your camera roll, you can drop in pictures of the book, and that will allow you to remember the cover, which I really like, because sometimes you're reading a book and you just don't remember kind of what it looked like. But if you look at the cover, then it's like, oh yeah, I remember reading that. And then what I added here, so it's over here, is the prettier version, is whether it was a physical book, an ebook, an audio book, or you might want to say like where you found the book. Like I read a lot on Hoopla. I also use Overdrive. I use Libby. So you might want to put that on this line right here. But what I love to be able to do Again, excuse my messy handwriting, but this is how I was formatting this, was to come up with, you might want to do your main topics, the things that you learned from the book, so you want to take notes. So that's where you might want to use, instead of just this page, you might want to use a blank page, or you might want to use a line page and just take notes as you're reading the book, and then come back and summarize it on this style page. So you can do whatever you want as far as pages behind the book. We'll jump right back to it. So here I was writing down all my notes, but then I was finding different things like quotes from the book. So if you go onto Google and you're searching images, you can find different things. So instead of me writing every principle from this book, I found an image of it, and then I just copied and pasted it here. So again, this is for personal use. I'm obviously not going to be marketing this book, so I'm just showing you that you can do this as long as it's for personal use. You can't, you're not going to run into any problems. But that's how I did it. So I actually copied the notes. Somebody else did a great job of talking about the book, or I found pages of the book. So since I was reading this particular book was an ebook, and I read it on my reader. So I copied the page when I was actually in the book itself. I did a screenshot of the page. You can see here's me taking a little screenshot. And then I highlighted the section that I really liked about this book. So this gave me a chance to not have to rewrite something. So if there's great excerpts from the book, great quotes, here's another, like I really liked these pages where she was talking about things. So I just did a screenshot, copied and pasted it here. So now I don't have to rewrite it. I can just use it. So this is a way you might want to use a blank notes page, is to put some screenshots. Or you might want to use, again, it's kind of up to you. I wasn't sure if you would like my formatted page, so we go over here. Here's the formatted one, but you could just do it with a blank one and do whatever you want and shape it any way you want. So I just wanted to give you one that was formatted, one that was with lines, so you could just drop the photo right here and then just write all around it. So it's really up to you. I wanted to give you a lot of different options as to how to use these. So if you're not sure how to include or how to add a notes page, so if you go to the thumbnail here, now you have all your pages. So let's say for winter, we wanted to add a page. So here's our cover page for winter, and we want to add a page here between winter and spring, and say I want to add this page. So you go to here and you duplicate it. So now I have an extra one of these, right? And now I'm going to click on it and I'm going to drag it. Let's see, here's winter. I want to drag it right there. So now if we go here, so here is my winter cover. If I clicked on that tab, I'd get to winter. Here's my summary of what I've read. But here now is that notes page. So you want to make sure though when you're doing this, you're duplicating the page. Don't just drag it, duplicate it, so that way you always have that clean copy to work from, and then you can drag it and put your pretty one, the one that you're going to work on, right here. So you can see it's still here, and now there's a copy of it here. So that's what you want to do. And then if you're in the page itself and you really like it, you can always do this plus, and you can duplicate the current page. So this current template is right here, it's the first one. So I can click on this, and I can either put this page before or after. So now you see I have two of these pages right here, and they're all in my winter tab. So that's how you add pages, and that's why I've given you just blank ones, because I want you to be able to customize and be able to put this together any way that you want. So if you go back to the one I'm actually using, this just shows you, like, here was how I was thinking through, how my ratings were, the number of pages, the name of the book. And some of the times, like if I'm reading a fiction book, I'm not going to go ahead and take notes on it. So I'm talking about the books that were nonfiction that I really want to take notes on. But if you really want to study characters from a fiction book, you could also do that with here, or just get your favorite quotes from the book so that you remember it. Really, it's up to you how to use this. But I just wanted to give you just an overview how to use this, and then things like, one of the things I like to do is, like, how did I find this book? How did I wind up reading this book? Well, I was listening to a podcast, or I was actually reading a newsletter that led me to a podcast, and then I wound up going out and finding the book on Hoopla from the author. So you might want to do things like that. So you can put that over here. Again, you can put in your notes, how did you find this book? What did you really like about this book? And then drop in pictures from the book itself. That's why I love doing ebooks, because I can read it right here, and then as I'm finding something I really like, and I can capture it, which is what I did here. I could just capture it right on the screen. So very fun way to use this book. I hope that you find this tutorial informative, and as always, head to the Etsy shop, Life, Edit, and Design, and you'll find all kinds of planners. Again, every one of my planners has this kind of tutorial to help you get the most out of it. So we'll talk to you soon. Take care.